Rajita, I also worry about women facing certain critical illness.
That we see a lot of women facing. It's on congenital diseases. No woman should have to feel that her health, her life is any less important than her wallet. No, it's not about living in fear. It's about living informed and empowered.
Welcome to the all-new episode of Health Matters. This is a special and the first video edition of our podcast. I am Sanjana, and if you've been following our audio podcast, you know we are all about bringing you valuable insights. In this episode, we are opening up an important conversation, something that affects every woman but often gets overlooked, her health. We've got an expert guest joining our panel to break things down for you, answer your questions, and help you make informed decisions about your health. So, whether you are a regular listener or you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. Let's dive right in. Take control of our health because your health matters.
Hello all. Women's health has changed so much in the last 25 years. Treatments that once seemed unimaginable are a reality today. But even with all this progress, one thing hasn't changed, is how much women continue to carry. Our families, our dreams, our career, our health. We're always the last ones to prioritize ourselves, right? And when it comes to health, women's health is not just physical. It's emotional, financial, and even societal. Think about it. Women battling illnesses like cancer while managing their homes, women struggling with infertility in silence, and trying to make a decision about their bodies while struggling with the weight of stigma and judgment. It's not just having the right medical options, it's about having support, emotional, financial, and mental, so that we truly feel like we're not alone in this. Today, we're going to talk about these issues, not as doctors or patients, but as women, as people in the society who've seen these challenges up close. Because at the heart of it, women's health issues aren't just her personal battle. It's about her family, her future, her dignity. And it's about time we made space to talk about this without fear or shame. We've received some very relevant and heartfelt questions from women across the organization. And with the help of our guests today, we've identified some of these issues and we're going to talk about this. Let's dive right into this discussion.
Rujuta, of all the queries I have received from our women employees, one of the most commonly asked question, I'd like to start off with that question. I've been trying to get pregnant for 2 years now, and it's been exhausting, emotionally, physically, and financially. Every time I see a negative result, it feels like I failed somehow. IVF feels like the only option left, but it's overwhelming. How does a woman go about handling this?
First of all, let me say this. This is not a failure. Fertility treatments can be incredibly lonely. Treatments like IVF, IUI or ART, they're remarkable, but they're not easy journeys. The injections, the waiting, the hope, the heartbreak, it's a lot to carry. What's important to remember here is that you're not alone. Don't face this alone. Find support through your partner, through your family, friends, or even a professional counselor. You don't have to go through this alone. And I understand, these treatments, they're expensive. But this is why we have systems and organizations in place who are trying to make this more accessible. Financial stress shouldn't be a barrier to someone's dream of becoming a mother.
Rajita, some women I know have chosen surrogacy or even egg donation, but there's so much stigma around it. Why do you think we struggle to look at these options as valid paths to motherhood?
So this stigma, it's a painful truth. But let me tell you this, motherhood is about love, not biology. Women who choose surrogacy or egg donation, they are as much mothers as anyone else. And these journeys, they require immense strength and they're deeply personal. What we need today is more education, more awareness, and above all, more compassion. When women support women, we can change the narrative. And this is why it's important for people who choose these journeys to know that with the right resources, with the right guidance, they will see this through. And this is your journey. You have all the right to walk it proudly.
So Rujuta, there's another concern that that we see a lot of women facing. It's on congenital diseases. And congenital disease is not something that don't get trailed with trauma, mental trauma. So there's a concern that a female employee has raised regarding the same issue. I'll just quickly take a time to read the question. During my pregnancy, my doctor recommended some in utero tests because there was a small concern during the scan. Those weeks of waiting were some of the most stressful of my life. What happens when these tests show something serious? So how should families cope with this?
I can't even imagine how difficult those weeks must have been for her. In utero tests, they're incredible. They help diagnose diseases and sometimes even treat them before the baby is born. But they carry a lot of emotional weight, especially when the results are a little concerning. And when we talk about congenital diseases like Down syndrome, it's not just about the diagnosis, it doesn't end there. It's about the support families need to navigate this difficult journey. And it's definitely not easy, but with the right resources, with the right backing by, emotional counseling, or whether it is financial assistance or even the right medical care, that is key. It's not an easy journey, but with the right support, the families can find the strength they didn't even know they had.
But what about after the baby is born? Don't families require more than just medical care post the birth of the baby?
Absolutely. It's not just about medical treatments. It's about holistic care. Families need support in form of like community support, knowledge sessions, emotional wellness coaching for the needs of their baby, and even practical tips like nutrition and diet guidance. Parenting is tough enough without all these added challenges, but when families have the right village behind them, they can thrive. And this is what I truly believe in, creating a network of care that goes beyond hospital walls.
Rujita, I also worry about women facing certain critical illness. Like this lady who mentioned this, I'm going to read out the query right now. My family has been through so much because of cancer. My aunt was diagnosed with breast cancer and it turned our lives upside down. I can't help but wonder if I'm at risk too. How do we even start protecting ourselves from something like this?
I feel the fear and uncertainty in her voice, and so many women face this and in silence. Breast cancer, cervical cancer, these are not just medical diagnoses, they are life-altering events. But what the good news is? The good news is that early detection is powerful. With regular mammograms and pap smears, it's very easy to catch this disease early before it becomes advanced. And with women who have a family history, they also have the option of doing genetic tests and preventative surgeries like mastectomies and oophorectomies. But these are not easy journeys. They require a lot of strength. But what's important is that you know your options and take proactive steps. It's not about living in fear. It's about living informed and empowered.
Yeah, but Rujuta, just a query here. Even with early detection, like we all know that cancer care is very expensive, unaffordable. So treatments get difficult to do because affordability is such a big issue for families and women. And we've seen that in all of our cases, in all of our people that we do know. So what do you advise? How can women overcome this issue?
It is heartbreaking. So many women, they put off screening and treatments because of the cost, and the delay can be devastating. No woman should have to feel that her health, her life is any less important than her wallet. And this is why we need these systems in place. This is why we need to talk about accessible health care so that families get this support during these tough times. And I think these are conversations we need to start having. These are conversations we need to have with each other as women. Because I think when women come together, I think we can face the hardest of battles.
True. So true.
So every story we've heard today, I'm sure it resonates with somebody out there.
Yeah, I'm glad to be part of these conversations.
Absolutely. It is so important for us women to talk about these topics openly.
Well, then I think we are the community we need.
That's right.
So every story we've heard today highlights one thing. Women's health is not just a medical issue. It's deeply personal, emotional, and even societal. Whether it's fighting cancer, struggling with infertility, or even preparing for the challenges of parenthood, women need more than just options. We need support, we need courage, and we need compassion. Because when women thrive, so do families, so does the community, and even the world becomes stronger. That's where HERizon Care comes in. It's designed to go beyond traditional health insurance, addressing real, everyday issues that women face, from battling critical illnesses with financial ease to offering holistic wellness as well as preventative care. It's not just about covering medical costs. It's about empowering women to make informed decisions, access the care they need, and feel empowered to take charge of their health. This journey isn't just physical, it's deeply emotional too, which is why it includes value-added services like emotional counseling and community support. Let's keep having these conversations, breaking the stigma and empowering women to take charge of their health.